I told you back in 2012, whilst you were still playing Black Ops 2 Search and Destroy with all your friends,
Oh, daddy should have pulled out, fuck nigga.
that in a few years you'd be able to strap a TV onto your face and use your hand movements in games to aim guns, reload your weapons, physically take cover, you'd probably ask me what type of crack I was smoking. But here we are in 2023, with the company that you used to use to keep up with all your friends and play Farmville is now making hardware that allows you to essentially transport into a game. And on the other side, you have the most valuable company on earth starting to dip their toes into the market. It is crazy the technology jump we've made from the consoles I grew up with to swinging my arms to hit virtual boxes to the beat of a song. Who knows what we will have in the next 10 years? Maybe the Xbox 720? But seriously, does anyone actually remember that? I actually believed it when I first saw it. But seriously, VR is still so young in terms of technology, and just looking back at the sort of hardware we had back in the day, what we have now is astonishing. Not to mention the difference in games. But when you look at most VR games, there's always this feeling of it not being very polished and it just doesn't look very finished.
What the fuck?
But that's because only small indie developers or studios are actually pushing to make VR games. You have to weed through a lot of shit to actually find some hidden gems. And that is what I found recently. Now before you all start typing in the comments, Sponkaroo, you big lumbering fuck, a bit rude. There are over 400 reviews on this game. How is it a hidden gem? And to that I say, shut the f***, right. More than 400 reviews on a VR game is absolutely massive. It might as well be 400,000 reviews. But listen, not everyone goes out to try new games or knows about them. So I'm making this video to praise this game because it's so unique and I want more people to try it out. So sit back, relax, and listen to me try and make a decent video.
Forward the Light Brigade. Charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. There's but to do and die.
Now the game I'm talking about today is actually called the Light Brigade. I'm sure you already knew that already from the huge fucking watermark on the bottom right of all the gameplay footage. There's nothing I could do about that. I wish they'd remove it. But this is a roguelike VR shooter made by a small dev team called Funktronic. They're also the creators of another quite well-known VR game that came out in 2016 and fully released in 2017 called Cosmic Trip, which is a VR RTS game, which is one of the first of its kind. But why am I mentioning this game if we're talking about the Light Brigade? It's because I want to show you that they have a track record of actually completing and supporting games for a long while. So let's actually get into what the video is actually about. It's been about 3 minutes and I haven't mentioned a thing about the game yet, so let's actually start. First thing you probably notice when you look at this game, you're like, wow, the graphics. But to be honest, they're just so simple, but yet so interesting. It uses its color palette so well that it had me literally saying wow while experiencing it for the first time. It also perfectly uses this World War I setting mixed with fantasy or like religious twang to it, which I've never seen in any other VR games, but it works really, really well. And don't even get me started on those gun models. They're so crisp and fit the aesthetic of the game, and the sounds, they're just so good. Oh. Now it's all well and good that a game looks and sounds pretty, but what about the gameplay? Now boys, you'll be happy to know that it is fucking great. It's got a wide range of playstyles due to the class system, I'll get into that a bit more later, and the tarot card system. And all the runs that you do feel unique. Now, as I mentioned, this is a roguelike, so it's not something you stop playing after playing one run. The basic formula of a run is this: you start the run, you load into the area, clear the area by killing enemies, you loot items from the environment, corpses,
Chocolate coins.
deposit your souls, pray at the exit, and then rinse and repeat until you get to a boss. Now, this might sound like it would get boring, But due to the procedural generation of levels, it actually keeps it feeling fresh enough to not get so bored. Now, besides the procedural generation, you have the tarot cards I mentioned earlier. Not only do they look cool,
That is so fucking cool.
they also serve as passive buffs that you can start building up over your runs, and it makes for some pretty interesting builds, like becoming a one-shot machine, hypnotizing enemies to get them to fight for you, paralyzing enemies, and some more as well. Of course, balance is quite an issue because some of them are obviously better than others, but they all have their uses, because they largely depend on the class you choose. Now, there's currently 6 classes in the game, and they all have very unique differences. For example, the starter class, you have the Rifleman. It has a Gewehr. Gewehr. It has a Gewehr and a passive that does extra headshot damage, and my god is this a satisfying class to play. Not only does it have a lot of damage, but just hearing that ping after all the bullets have been emptied, oh my god. And one of the other ones I want to speak about is the Scout. This is the second one you unlock, and it has an M3 SMG that is full auto and absolutely shreds. Now, I will leave the other 4 as a surprise if you decide to get the game, because I don't want to spoil anything. I haven't even mentioned that as you play a class, you earn skill points, and you can use these to improve your weapons, passives, health, and magic wands. Wait, what? Yes, magic wands! I didn't mention that earlier.
Oh! Whoa, shit, no! No, I'm sorry!
But there are a total of 3 spells currently in the game, but you only really need to know about one. A barrier that when you put it down, it increases your damage and shows where you're aiming. And that is the most overpowered spell in the game at the moment, and if you do play, that's all you need, trust me. After you get to a certain point in the game, you unlock the ability to spend these class points that I mentioned earlier on boosts that affect all of your characters or classes, like better drops, more gold, more XP, etc. And these are useful if you finish leveling up a class, but you want to keep playing it and it still gives you something to work towards and to help out your other characters. But there are also more difficulties that you unlock as you complete runs to make the game scale with your upgrades. It doesn't just become a walk in the park that you do over and over again, it makes new runs you embark on even harder and supplies you with even more souls to level up and rare drops when playing. I just want to finish off this video with one more little point. This game is intense. Like, really intense. When I first played this game, there were a few times where I actually shat myself in real life.
Oh, shit! Oh! Oh! What the fuck?
This game is immersive. Its audio and art style go hand in hand to create environments that you can get lost in and forget about reality for a little while. And this is only the start. These devs are actually committed to making this game and have shown with Cosmic Trip that I mentioned at the start of the video, they can and will support this game for a while. They've already mentioned in their store page that they're already looking to add new biomes, enemies, weapons, classes, online features and more. They're also incredibly active in their Discord and preparing to release a big update as soon as possible. This really could be the start to a game that will be around for a very long time and be played in VR headsets for years to come. But as always, only time will tell. Anyways, that's all I really have to say about it. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you don't mind, give me a little like, or subscribe if you're new, or if you want to, or do whatever you want, man. But I'm glad that you gave me your time today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and if I don't see you ever again, then I hope you have a nice life. Bye bye.